So welcome everyone for our webinar number 9. I'm Pierre Maillot. I'm responsible for business and partnership. You guys know me by now. And I'm very excited to host Erwan, our VP of product today, that is going to present a very exciting feature that will come on top of our existing data management platform. Before we dive into this, I let Erwan introduce himself.
Thanks, Pierre. So I'm Erwan. I'm a French guy. I joined Heex about 2 years ago, and I'm the one behind Heex V2. You might know as of now. So there were many drivers to creating the V2. One of them was to make robotic data more accessible to more people. And today we're going to focus on Copilot, which is our AI spin on making things easier, faster for more people, including non-technical ones. Back to you, Pierre.
Yeah, thanks. So, what we're gonna do today is we're gonna give a very short refresh about X and what we have been developing over the last few years, the state of the product as it is today, what you can do. But I'm not gonna spend too much time on it because there is so much material in the former webinars that you guys can see on our website. But it's going to be just like reminding you the key concept and what kind of, let's say, solution we bring at the market. Then we're going to dive specifically on that new Heex Copilot feature that Erwan will actually demo. We pre-recorded the demo to make it sure it's like a seamless and smooth experience. And then after that, we go back live where we can take question. I'm going to actually start now the Q&A session, so feel free to use it while we go through the presentation and the demo to ask any question that you might have. So first of all, just to give you a quick update and for some of you, a reminder about the Smart Data Management Platform. It's meant to really address one of the increasing market challenge that we see in robotics or in any kind of autonomous system application, since we serve different kind of, let's say, verticals like autonomous driving, industrial logistics, and so on. But one of the issue that we see is that engineers, they have to spend a lot of time to process, to review existing log during the R&D phase, and that takes them a lot of resources. It delay the time to market, and when they deploy their solution actually in operation, then it becomes very difficult to get insights about what's going on in your robot by getting the right data set or event when you are in live operation. And the scalability of managing your fleet becomes a big challenge with the huge amount of data that robotics application are monitoring. The approach that we have developed is really an event-driven approach where basically we're going to be helping organization to deploy our software solution either at the edge, so directly inside the robot. That will enable you to do real-time detection, live notification during the operation, or in the cloud. The same agent can be deployed in the cloud to replay specific logs, extract specific scenarios, so processing much more efficiently your logs, such as ROSBAG for those who are using ROS as a middleware. From a product standpoint, we have therefore two key, let's say, components. Our Heex Agent, that is a module that you can deploy, as I said, at the edge or in the cloud to monitor the signal, any data signal from your robot, and then identify where there is a scenario or an alert that needs to be recorded. And our Heex Cloud, which is a workspace that will allow you to configure your system, your robotic fleet, visualize the data, and deploy your new strategy for recording over the air at scale. From a deployment perspective, it's very flexible. It's adapted to any kind of architecture. For us, we oversimplify that with a feature that basically automatically scan and map the topics. So it's kind of like a plug and play implementation if you are using ROS 2. But nevertheless, we have an SDK that can integrate to any kind of, let's say, custom architecture. And from a storage standpoint, we also are flexible with data infrastructure requirement. By default, you're going to be leveraging our Heex Cloud, but we also have custom cloud storage. Again, more details on that is available in the other webinar on our website. But visually, basically, the value proposition of the data platform is to save you so much time in getting the data that you need and sending that data to the right user. And unlike workflows where you have to collect everything, upload everything, and then process and extract the event of interest, then by deploying the agent at the edge, then you can capture the events, the scenarios that you need almost instantly, and that will then follow different kind of workflows, as I mentioned, during the R&D phase or during the operation. And where we are a bit unique on the market is our capability to run this agent both at the edge or in the cloud. That brings some kind of continuity and collaboration across different departments, and also making sure that even if at the beginning of your project you still have to record everything, using our software in the cloud as a replay will help you to build the data pipeline that you need to be prepared to scale your operation. So that double capability of using the agent as a replay of the log in the cloud to do much better analytics, as well as deploying the same agent then in the system once your autonomous stack is getting ready, then is really something that's unique and then prepare you to have one data pipeline that can sit on top of your existing workflows. We don't mean to replace everything that you have built. It's meant to basically sit on top as a very efficient layer to really quickly access to the data that you need. And beside the agent that I mentioned, we have a collaborative platform which is sitting on the Heex Cloud, where you have different features for managing your system, defining new recording strategies, analyze the data that you have been recording. We demoed that web platform several times before. Here you're going to see a part of the platform as well as our MCP server in the demo of Erwan regarding the Heex Copilot. So to summarize, from a product standpoint, once you have deployed our agent and that you have configured your workspace, you have different ways of interacting with the product. We have a very comprehensive CLI interface that helps you to also interact with the platform with APIs for compatibility, interoperability with your system, and also creating some workflow integration. Like for example, bringing notification into Slack, into Jira, and so on. But not only that, we have the web interface that basically helps you to manage your system fleet, define your trigger, and so on. That is already existing today. So all of that is available for you to fully leverage the tool. And the layer that we are bringing on top is a AI component, which we call the Heex Copilot, that will help you to use natural language for both configuration and analyze. And that's the deep dive that we are going to address today. So Erwan, if you want to take over and tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure. So as you explained, we basically took an approach where we teach Heex the triggers, the systems, the notions, what can be done to an AI. And from then, it can go connect to your Heex systems. We're going to see that in the demo in a secured way using OAuth tokens. Once there, it can navigate your one or multiple workspaces. It can give you, and it can act both ways. First is a kind of chit-chat interactive. How can you help? I need to do that. Are you capable of doing that? It can read our public documentation on your behalf. So instead of browsing through pages, searching for the information, you can ask Copilot. It will browse the online data on your behalf and give you an answer precisely for your needs. Or you can ask how it works, can it help you in given use cases, etc. So general chit chat, leveraging the knowledge we gave it of Heex and what we do. The second aspect is when you start from scratch, you don't have anything, and you're going to see that in the demo. You can prompt it in very basic languages, saying, "Oh, I've got this, I've got that. I want to be notified about such and such topics." So, for instance, in the example I gave in the slide, alert me when my equipment is less than 2 meters away of an obstacle and is going there at speed, and I need to capture the 20 seconds of video to understand the context and the internals, such as battery, engine RPM, navigation, system decisions, to give me the context to understand why my system took that decision in that context. So you just prompted some natural languages. It will ask you questions if need be, if it's too blurry, and then it will configure Heex on your behalf. So as Pierre explained, you can go in the web UI, click, configure everything one way. You can use the command line interface, so interactively in a command prompt or through scripts, or you can code through the API, or you can let Copilot do that for you. So it's all about setting up things, changing things, adapting things to your needs. And when things are in place and working, they hopefully generate some events, some smart data, and it can analyze too. So you can ask it questions such as what's going on today, anything of importance I should be aware of, anything happening, why is it happening, what should I change to improve my knowledge, visibility, insight, please generate a report, etc. So we're going to see all of that in the demo. From a technical standpoint, there were many paths to achieve that. We chose one which is named MCP, Model Context Protocol. So I guess some of you have heard of it. It's kind of the universal way that was created about a year ago to connect AIs, most AIs, not all, but almost all of them, to existing applications and allow them to get data, to write data, and to act on it, to call actions as if you were clicking in a UI. So that's the approach we're taking. There are many benefits. One of them is that not only can Heex Copilot be used within Heex front end, as we're going to see, but it can be part of, let's say, multiple tools agentic workflow. So I chose a basic use case in the demo you're going to see where I read things from Notion, I act in Heex, and then I output things into Notion. But I've taken Notion, I could have taken many tools, and AI is kind of the orchestrator calling our Heex Copilot as an MCP technical entity as part of a workflow involving other tools, other MCPs, other AIs, etc. So that's the gist of it. Copilot is your chat buddy. You can ask it any question. It can read the public documentation on your behalf, answer you, and learn from it itself whenever we update it. It can configure Heex on your behalf, and that can be pretty efficient at doing many things pretty quickly. And it can analyze what's going on, why it's happening, and what to do about it. Back to you, Pierre.
Yeah, that sounds good. Well, thanks for this overview. I guess the best way now for you to understand Copilot is to see it in action. So I'm going to send now the demo, the product demo, and we'll see you right after the demo to answer any question you might have.
So now time for the demo of Heex Copilot in action. So we'll first have a quick overview of the Heex UI without going into detail because that's not the focus of this webinar. So the first view is a dashboard view where you have an overview of your Heex configuration. So first I see my systems, i.e. my robots. I've got 3. In this one I've got 18 kind of data I can monitor and record. Then I've got 5 data capture scenarios we call triggers, some implementation binaries. I get an overview of the data I collected so far. So in average, I collected 46 events without recordings, it looks like, and I can see where that data comes from. So over the last 7 days, that robot QC Inspector 01 generated 22 events and those two 12. And I can have a look by data capture scenario. Once again, the triggers, most of them come from that QC high defect rate. So the context of the demo is a robotic factory floor somewhere in Germany that do some PCB assembly and quality checks. And people want to monitor and do some preventive maintenance and detect issues with full context to resolve them quickly and hopefully early. So the second view is analytics. So here it dives into the data I collected. So I can see I collected 130 events. I can see the date range of those events. So that's between mid-November and early December. I can filter per system. So for instance, I can check only these ones, for instance, if I wanted to. So I can see other ones I've got just high events. I can filter by the data capture scenarios, by the priority, and we support labels, so you can label any way you want, and you can filter, you can organize, and here you can see the critical events, which ones are there, can dive into, etc. Same for high, medium, low. So here this calendar view, how those events stack over time. Obviously the red ones are the most important, and I can see, and the orange ones, etc. And I can see where they are on the map. So it looks like being a fictitious company nearby Stuttgart that generated those events. Obviously I can look at the data itself, so I can click, dive in, see the recordings, etc, etc. In that view I can see my systems, so my 3 robots, one which is welding, the other one which is doing pick and place, and the other one which is the quality check inspector. The kind of data I can monitor and record. My data capture scenarios, so I've got 5. And some of implementation I need to deploy. If we look over there, we've got Heex Copilot. We get it there in my versions. You have some alerts. So you can set up custom rules to be alerted on what you want to be alerted on. The events, the system change, whatever, and you can be notified in application. You can see I've got 2 now, or you can be notified on Slack or email, and then all the list of workspaces you have access to, your account settings, etc, etc. So first we're going to have a look into Copilot, and I'm going to ask it a very basic questions, such as who are you and how can you help? So it explains that it can answer non-technical questions, such as how does Copilot work, how Heex works, how it compares to other solutions, how it's different. It can read from our public documentation on your behalf. So that can be very helpful, and it can help you configure Heex, declare your configurations, your robots, your data capture scenarios, and so on, and analyze the data you collect. But for that demo, I want to show you another use case, which is a multi-tool use case, such as you want an AI-driven workflow between Heex and other software. So for that, I'm going to go into Cloud. I'm going to add a connector. I'm going to have another connector. I'm going to call it, let's call it Heex Copilot Webinar Demo. Then I'm going to give it a URL. There we go. And I'm going to add. And here we can see it's now there. I can connect now. So it's telling me that the Cloud AI we're in wants to access the Heex environment via Heex Copilot. So I'm going to say, yeah, fine, I just did it. Let's Cloud access it. So now the second step, I'm going to declare a new project. I'm going to call it again Heex Copilot Webinar. And in that project, I'm going to give it some knowledge. It's not mandatory, but it helps a big time. So here, So here it's just a markdown file. We can give it to you that explains the tools, the context, to make it more intelligent. So let's test it now. Let's try the first question. With very generic questions, not testing its technical capabilities, but just as a helper. Remember, it can read the public doc. So here it detected that it needs more context about the business value, so it's requested the backend for some business knowledge, let's say, and that spits out its answer, hopefully replying our question. So first, for him, the 4K difference is about the agents. You can deploy at the edge in the robots live to monitor and capture data live, or on servers where many customers use it to sieve through replays and extract meaningful information and or set up their data capture scenarios we call triggers. The second one obviously is himself, Copilot, so you can have chats, you can configure, you can analyze. The third one he mentions is over-the-air updates. So the idea is we can update both the agents themselves, the binaries, if need be, new versions, etc. And most of the time it's mostly about updating the data capture scenarios, once again we call triggers. The last point he mentions is about the multimodal capabilities, meaning that within a single system we can mix and match stuff from video feeds, LiDAR, you name it, down to engine RPMs, battery values and stuff like that, and also include recordings from external systems such as external camera for a crash, for instance, if you want to have an overview of the context from an outside view of the equipment itself. So the example it gives is if I've got a navigation issue and my CPU is above 90%, just capture some information and we can query all these and capture all that. So now we're going to start with the demo itself. So remember, I've got a workspace called Erwan where I've set up stuff. Now we're going to have it have a look over there to see what it sees. Oh, it's in thinking mode, that's why it's a bit slow. It should go faster for the next ones. So it's going to it's found the workspace, it's going to the workspace. It should be looking into the workspace to see what's in there. So now it gives us a summary. We have 3 systems, which is true. If I look at the systems, we have 3 indeed. We've got 5 triggers, the data capture scenarios. Let me check, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks fine to me. And it says we had 46 events over the past 13 days, roughly 9 a day. And one problematic system, QC Inspector 01, that generated 48% of the events. Okay, so let's have a closer look at those events and what we can learn from them. So it's looking at when these events occurred, the first one and the last one, looking at some statistics, looking at the robots. We've got 130 events, do we? Indeed we do. Okay, quite a lot. Okay, so it looked at the events, identified the probable root cause, and said those defects were detected late. So he suggests other data capture scenarios to detect the problems earlier, before it's kind of too late in the quality check station. So some predictive maintenance, cycle time anomaly, some production quality, weld quality score. Okay, and the third one is about resource optimization, gas flow efficiency. Okay, why not? Now I don't want to create those triggers, I want to discuss that with colleagues, and that the power of our approach is you can once again use Heex Copilot in an AI driven workflows. across multiple tools. So as a basic demo, I'm going to say, yeah, just upload the report for now in Notion so I can share with colleagues and we can discuss what to do about it, whether it makes sense or not, or should we do something else. So it's searching Notion for that page. I named webinar report page. Hopefully we'll find it soon. Okay, done. Fetching the page. Hopefully updating the page, and then we can have a quick look at the report he's suggested. It's been a bit long, now it's updating the page. Okay, it was pretty long with Notion, not sure what happened. So he did a report on the webinar report page. So yes, I want to see it. And so the days was generated, the dates, an executive summary, what we were tracking, a quick overview of the event analysis, what happened and why it happened, section about the root cause he believed he identified, some Heex configuration change to capture more meaningful information early in the cycle to prevent such issues in the future, and some action plan to act on. Interesting. So now we looked at how we can analyze something already in place and improve it if need be. Now we're going to do something quite different. We're going to go to an empty workspace. So let me check. As you can see, it's completely empty. I called it Webinar 2. So it's switching over there. It should check. There I want to set up a brand new monitoring approach for new equipment, which is an automated forklift. So I briefly describe what I know about the forklift. I know it knows about its position, its engine RPM temperature, battery charge and temperature, obviously, whether there are some obstacles and distance to collision. And basically what I'm interested in when the battery temperature is above 60 degrees, I want an alert that returns its position and current battery charge. So now it's setting up the workspace for us, and we'll see what it comes up with. So as you can see, pretty simple, non-technical, straightforward description. And we will see how smart he is. So it's already created the triggers, the data capture scenarios. Is creating my system, which is the automated forklift. And now it tells me it's done. So it created a forklift, it picked a Toyota TY something, why not? It's not deployed yet. It created some signals we can monitor and record. He configured some triggers with the conditions. And he says it's all done, so let us check. I go there, I hit refresh. I can say I didn't have one systems, I've got some data I can record and track. I've got one scenario. So the system is indeed forklift AGV01. If I have a look at the description, yeah. Then if I have a look at my scenario, I can see he named it battery overheat alert. I can change that anytime. He explains what it's all about. Now I can see my conditions. If my battery temperature is above 60, which is what I asked, I want to know the battery charge, the temperature, and the position. Oh, looks fine to me. Oh, gosh, I forgot something that could be of interest. That forklift sometimes has issues, and in my warehouse I have a video system that records different areas. So I'm just asking him, well, you know what, we've got some cameras. When you're about to have a collision, just give me the few seconds of footage from those cameras that could be of interest to understand what's happening. So here it's querying the backend to learn more about camera surveillance systems. and sending out the workspace, and we'll see what he comes up with. So it looks like he did some oopsies, discovered his errors, fixed them, and now claims he's done. So let's see what he did. So do two sources of data, the forklift itself and the warehouse, two triggers, the original one about the battery overheat, and now about the collision risk. Interesting. So let's see. I update. I can see I've got my new collision risk detection. So when I detect an obstacle and I'm less than 2 meters away, then I record the battery charge, the distance to collision over time for 40 seconds, the engine RPM position, stuff like that, and then the 3 video feeds. So now I can look, if I want to, 40 seconds of video from 3 cameras instead of browsing through a long set.
So that was our demo. Thank you very much, Erwan. That was very compelling. And I think it gave everyone a good understanding of like how you can use Copilot both for the configuration phase, the deployment, and so on, as well as for the analysis of your data, generation of report, and so on. And it's a great way also for people that are not tech user to also have a better access and understanding about their robots and the data that is producing. I see we have a few questions that have been like sent. So let me just. So there is one question. So yeah, actually, usually setting up a complex trigger with multiple condition, battery, location, video requires an engineer. Did the AI actually wrote the logic, or is it just selecting from pre-made template? And I guess this is based to, or it refers to the demo that you showed where the triggers were already pre-built.
Indeed. So no, it's not based from pre-made templates. There would be too many. It would be a never-ending race. Our approach was to explain the AI what we are capable of, and then leverage its own reasoning and strengths of, oh, he wants a camera, so X can support this and that. I'm going to configure these parameters this way. And X is safe enough to reject any non-viable implementation. So most of the time, the AI can one-shot configuration. Sometimes, as we saw in the demo, he did a hoopsie. He wanted to configure one way. X replied, "No, sorry, you can't do it this way. Try that way instead." And then the AI corrects itself and creates a workable configuration. So in short, it's not made on library of templates. The AI infers, guess what makes sense given its knowledge of X, and X can say, nope, sorry, doesn't work. These are other ways to do that. And in that loop, the AI can achieve what you ask him to do.
Okay, oh, great. That's so very powerful. There is another question that I show on screen. So we spend a lot of time on false positives with our current alerts. Can the Copilot help us tune these triggers so we stop getting woken up at 3 a.m. for non-issues?
So yeah, in our beta tests, that's a use case that's happened quite frequently. So basically, the user explains Copilot that this was a false positive, ask it to have a close look at the data, and suggest improvements of the scenarios to avoid those in the future. So it can be adding more conditions, changing the ranges, combining conditions in a different way, adding more and or parentheses, and coming up with better expressions to really hone in on the situations of interest and exclude noisy ones. So the short answer is yes. It's no magic, but it can help have that improvement loop quite quickly. And for instance, in the demo we saw from 130 events, he alone detected the sequence. Oh, I see the problems at the end of the quality check, but I see that I get some vibration and some gas issues during welding. They must be linked. I believe there's a root cause. And if you want to be sure, you should add those scenarios to capture those information earlier. And tomorrow, when I get data, I can say, yes, that was indeed the root cause it solved. Or, well, that was a false hypothesis. So let me form up new ideas of why it happened and help you configure Heex to really be sure and check that what the real root cause is. But he's pretty good. I've seen him analyzed many events, hundreds of events, and uncover patterns I honestly didn't see, even after watching the workspace for a few hours. So AIs are better than us at that, looking at a vast array of data and seeing patterns we can hardly see.
Okay. And I guess like every AI, the more you use it, the more capable it's going to become, right?
Yeah, especially with ChatGPT, Claude, and others, they learn from you. They have a memory, so they know the tone, the style, and they learn over time and they get better and sharper over time the more you use them.
Okay. It looks like we have time for last question, and so I'm gonna show it on the screen. So UD, who is asking, we have a mix of ROS2 robots and some legacy systems. Does the Copilot only work if everything is perfectly standardized, or can it handle messy data environments?
So the short answer, it handles messy data environment thanks to Heex, which is a kind of say a simplification layer above your messy data, where you define your data sources, you define your scenarios in a high level concepts meant for humans at first. But those high level concepts are quite intuitive for AI. In the demo, there was no ROS2. So once again, when you do ROS2, Pierre mentioned we have a tool called RDA, Resource and Data Automation, where we do basically a file open of your ROS2 configuration, configure X accordingly, and there you go. And in the demo, it was not ROS2 based. We didn't do any file open and read the configuration and duplicate it. It was, I'm a human, I've got a forklift, I heard it can do this, this, and that. I'm interested in that situation. Can you configure um, to give me what I want? And basically, Copilot said yes, and here is a proposal. So if you have systems matching both, then it works fine. You use a file open ROS configure, and then you say yes, but it's not 100% ROS. We've got other stuff, and here is the other stuff. And since it's a standard approach, you can drag and drop PDFs explaining your systems in detail, or you can simply have a basic non-technical chit chat and it will configure it, and you can improve that configuration over time. An engineer can take over and refine it, etc., etc. So the short answer is yes.
Okay, great. Thanks, Erwan. I think we will shortly wrap up this webinar. Thank you again for your time. I want to end up with, let's say, a last message regarding X, and actually that was also part of your demo, where providing him knowledge about our product. This was, let's say, also the same answer from Copilot, which is obviously a good news and a good, let's say, calibration of like what Copilot should bring in terms of knowledge. But basically, let's say some of the highlights beside everything we showed today, some of the highlights which make us very unique on the market is this smart data intelligence approach. So our capability to really produce very qualified and relevant data, both at the edge directly live in your robot or in the cloud on server replay. Heex Copilot that Erwan just mentioned and presented. And I believe, Erwan, you can also say that for anyone who is interested, we have a beta version that people can start to work with. If I'm not,
Absolutely.
yeah.
If you're interested, let us know. We can give you access.
So that's the information of today. If you guys want to be amongst the first user of Heex Copilot, we have that possibility. So you can reach out to me, and then I will connect you with Erwan in his team to organize that. Um, we also are pretty unique in the way of managing signals from different kind of systems, whether they are ROS topic, whether they are coming from a CAN bus, whether you have message that comes under like a Kafka or MQTT format. This multimodal approach is something very unique that helps you to go even deeper and wider into the type of scenarios you want to record, as well as also use Heex as a great tool for observability. And last but not least, these over-the-air capabilities of reconfiguring a scenario recording or even the agent itself at the edge simply from the platform. That means when you start to scale your operation and you need to have that intelligence of changing, fine-tuning the data that you're going to get from your robot without having to send someone on the field or to continuously record terabyte of data, that over-the-air capabilities become a great leverage to scale your fleet, to scale your operation, and to reduce your cost. So with that, I'd like to um, end that webinar first by thanking Erwan for his great contribution, by also congratulating X team, tech team, and product team for all the great work and this copilot that we were very exciting to present today. And if you need to contact us, I'm going to put my information right after, and you know where to find me. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Pierre. Bye.
Bye. And here are my contact information, so don't hesitate to reach out. Have a great end of your day, and talk to you again soon. Bye bye.
Cheers.